Hey, welcome to Planet X. I'm Andrew Horn. I'm out today. See, I can do videos where I'm in the outside. See, I'm out here in Nottingham. It does still happen where I do leave the house sometimes. Today I'm going to the Inkblot Indie Comics Festival here in Nottingham and see what that's like. I've never been before. I know it's been going on for a few years now. I'm going to go and see some indie comics artists and see what's on offer at this festival. Check it out with me. I've kind of been hankering for a proper comics festival for a while because a lot of them just become markets where people sell Funkos and old action figures, so I'm hoping this one is a bit more interesting. And there's some independent creators there, so I always want to support those. I am one myself. So it's at the Van Fiddle, which is at the old coal store, which has shown up on my channel before because I shot a video of wrestling there. I went to see some wrestling there, which is always good fun. But I'm going to go along today and hang out with some nerds, which always refills my batteries. And then after that, we'll head back to Planet X and probably talk comics or something like that, talk comics news, and reflect on the experience of going to Inkblot Comic Festival. But let's go and check it out. I want to see some independent stuff. I want to see some new stories, some new ideas, and I want to see people having a good time because that's always fun. I'm hoping I don't see many Funkos because bloody hell, there's a lot of those damn things around, isn't there? Right, let's go find out. So I've been to Inkblot Indie Comics Festival. That was awesome. Really nice to see some independent creators there. A lot of artists, a lot of scenes, a lot of things that may be a little bit higher priced than people would be willing to pay at the moment. But I get it with independent artists and independent creators. I really do. But so yeah, I've been around town for hours now. I got here far too early this morning. So I've already done all my favourite places and I've been to Inkblot. Now it's time to head back to Planet X and go through what I picked up at the festival. See you there. Actually, thinking about it, I'm going to go to Forbidden Planet before I go back to Planet X. Can't go to town and not go to Forbidden Planet, can I? Let's go, see you there. back at Planet Hex, and I'm going to show you what I got while I was out today. That was a really nice thing to do today. I really enjoyed going to the Inkblot Comic Festival. That was really cool. The location wasn't ideal. I like the old coal store. I like the Fat and Fiddle. It's a great place to be, but I'm not sure if it entirely works for a comic convention entirely. It was a bit tight to get round. It was a bit difficult to see everything, but I think they did a really good job with the space that was available, and I really enjoyed being there, and I'm looking forward to going back to the next one. So while I was in town, first thing I did, I went to CEX. I mean, we have to go to CEX. It's the law, and picked up the first series of Cursed films on Blu-ray. So it's the myths and legends behind Poltergeist, The Omen, The Exorcist, The Crow, and I think Twilight Zone the movie, I think, behind there. Yes, Twilight Zone the movie, all of which had those supposed curses on them where people would get injured or die and so on. And I just think that sounds kind of interesting. To Brandon Lee there. I think that sounds kind of interesting because I think I know a lot of these stories already, but it'd be nice to see if there's any gaps that that can be filled in my knowledge of those. It's the sort of thing I really enjoy finding out about. So at the Comic-Con itself, I did meet some really cool creators there, and I bought a couple of things that really stuck out. First one is this pack here of like 5 publications. It was full of zines. The place is full of zines, full of artwork, full of creators, really unique stuff, way outside the usual superhero or indie comic scene that we would see coming over from the States. These homegrown creators and are just knocking it out of the park in terms of stuff. And I went to a ladies' store from Bow and Boone. So that's at Bow and Boone with an and. There you go. And she was called Fung Kang Boone. It says here. I hope I've said that right. If I haven't, I do apologise. And she was really friendly and had a really cool range of stuff. And there was a deal on. You could get everything. You could get everything for a very decent price. So I bought one of everything from her store, which was awesome. So we've got zines, got 3 zines and 2 comic books. And she showed me as well how to make a little miniature zine out of one piece of paper. There was a bunch of people there that were selling these one-sheet zines. And I thought this was a really, really clever idea. So good. And she showed me how this is done. So these zines seem like it's comic book style with multiple pages. But she showed me how to do this with one sheet of paper, a cut in the middle, and some folding technique, and it was really clever. And she also showed me how to put it back together as well. So these need the multiple pages inside as well. And I absolutely love that. So we've got Bo's Drawing Journal, Boone's Doodles, which is strips as well. Awesome. This is so good. Step Forward, which is... Oh, these are really beautifully illustrated as well. These are really, really good. Do check out these artists. Taming of the School. I mean, how can you not love something that's just full of cats? Oh, that looks fantastic. Yes, Life with Cats. These are excellent. The standard of work was so good across the board throughout all the creators there, all the artists that were there. They had some really, really cool stuff being shown, and it was just a pleasure to see. Well worth the entry fee, which is it was £3 to get in as an early bird ticket. It was just the best. And finally, in that pack, we've got Life of Boone, which is I think this is the longest piece, and there's some colour. There's some black and white, there's some colour in there, and that just looks really, really cool, really clever. Life of Boone are short stories, short snippets of events I've experienced in the past few years that I have, I've lived on this earth. These are memories that I think are worth remembering. I hope you enjoy. I certainly will. Very, very cool. Really well worth it. So one more time for the card there, because then it saves me having to put text up. I'm lazy. So there's Bow and Boone at Bow and Boone, and there's the 2 creators there as well. Joe had a different a stand nearby with a few different things on there, but that is really, really cool. Really enjoyed that. I'm really looking forward to getting into those. So I picked up the first issue of the last Einherjar. I'm sorry, you know, knowing the black metal band Einherjar, I should know how to pronounce that. But this is so cool. There were several issues of this, but I always like to start with the first one and then catch up with the others. So this was created by Kevin Wells, and it is a black and white comic book with some spectacular artwork depicting this sort of Viking warrior on various adventures and misadventures by the look of it as well. But the art style is so professional. I really like the look of this, and the guy was really nice as well. And of course, I had to go and get a couple of I wanted to get a couple of vintage comics as well. I never really want to get, you know, incredibly expensive ones. I don't really have much of an interest in key issues or anything like that, but I do have an interest in stuff that I know will have lots of adverts in. I'm hooked on adverts in vintage comic books, and there was Marvel Team Up in one dealer's boxes, and I like Marvel Team Up, so I got issue 32 of Marvel Team Up. This is an English version, so it's got 8p on the front, and this was Marvel Team Up featuring Human Torch and the Son of Satan. How could I not get that? That is so cool. I love these. I love the artwork in these. I love the style of them, and I love the adverts. The adverts are a big draw for me in retro stuff. And following on from that, I also got issue 35, which features the Human Torch and Doctor Strange. I like the team-up books. They're fun. I like those a lot. After that, I went to Forbidden Planet, as you saw. I got some things that I don't want to show on screen because they may be for one of my son's birthdays. So I'm not going to show those on screen because I know him and some of his friends do watch this channel. Hello. But I did pick myself up the latest issue of Creepshow. I thought it fits with everything else. And I love short stories. I love the style of Creepshow. Always have. Got a Creepshow poster on the top of my stairs there. And I just really enjoyed it. It was a really great thing to do today. I've really enjoyed being out there, and I look forward to doing it again. Not sure how it would improve in that space because it felt a little bit tight. It may be best to look at some other places, or at least how it was arranged. There is a stage in there. Why not get a few people on the stage? That would give an extra bit of space, although there would be accessibility worries. I've not really thought about it, but I think that would be something cool to think about anyway for the future for these things.
Hey, me again, but a week later. So in that video about Inkblot, should have been out last week, but then I got the call about being on TV and had to go and do the This Morning thing, and that's why that video came first. So now that was what went on at the Inkblot Indie Comic Festival. Hope you enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun to do. I do hope they, you know, get the rough edges sorted out for the next one. That'd be cool. So something else I wanted to talk about this week. This was just the video on its own, but I thought I didn't want the Inkblot one to go missing and just fall by the wayside, so that's why that was included this week. I want to talk about Toxic Horror. Now, this didn't run for very long. It's a magazine from 1990 or so. I think it was 1990, and it didn't run for very long, and it was very much in the same sort of feel as Gore Zone. So what's this? Yeah, 1990, I believe. Yeah, there we go. Same sort of vein as Gore Zone, more graphic than Fangoria, that sort of thing, a bit more, well, horrific, as you can imagine. There's Freddy on the cover of the first one. I only have a physical copy of the first one. I think I have issue 4 somewhere, with it's Highway to Hell on the front. Oh no, it's Frankenstein Unbound on the front of that one. But this was very much in the vein of Gore Zone, but it didn't run very long. So I thought I'd take a look at a couple of the issues that I don't have. So I'm going to look at issues 2 and 3, and then another video we'll look at 4 and 5. You know, you've got to make these things last. Make your good things last. And you know, I love my retro magazines. I love stuff that has adverts in it. I have quite a thing for anything with retro movie adverts in, like in the Toxic Horror one. Let's find a couple who've got the classic masks on the back, and there's ads for like other magazines, more masks and memorabilia and stuff. That's a great poster of Freddy and Nancy from Elm Street 3 there in the middle. I love stuff like that. So let's take a look at issue 2. So this is issue 2. This is listed as February 1990. And on the cover there we got Toxic Avenger 3, The Aroma of Trauma, Club Undead, a new Stephen King novel, Freddy, horror comics, and the original Bloodsucking Freak. So let's see what's in this issue. I think it wasn't quite as well planned out as Gorzone, but it was a really cool, obnoxiously colourful magazine for what it was. So what have we got? Let's see what pops up here. Nice. Horrible shredding sound of slashing stainless steel. Cool. There's a couple of chopping mall there. There's a nice examination of a bunch of movies there. My Mom's a Werewolf Slaughterhouse. Stephen King's Dark Half. Okay, some stuff on that. And comics. Oh, the horror adaptations of things. Those novel adaptations of Elm Street were actually really good. I had both volumes of those. And a short story collection as well. So there was one book that had the abridged versions of 1, 2, and 3 in it. There's a second one that had 4 and 5, and then there was a spin-off, a short story collection as well. Jason Bites the Big Apple. That's Jason. That's Friday the 13th Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. That was toss. It's these things have their entertainment value. They all do, and I do watch some junk, but even I struggled a bit with Friday the 13th Part 8, and I can understand it if other people did as well. But it's nice to see these set reports and these examinations of this stuff, even so. And we've got a Club Undead comic there, which I shall skip by. We've got some stuff about Toxic Avenger and Trauma. I love my Trauma. I mentioned last week I've been on the VHS podcast. Please do subscribe, there's a link below. That I'd rewatched Poltergeist, Night of the Chicken Dead, which is just a demented pleasure. It goes so far past the areas of good taste that it's just unreal, and I love that. You know, Surf Nazis Must Die, Rabid Granny's there. Stuff Stephanie in the Incinerator. Video Demons Do Psycho Town. I've not seen that. I'll have to look that one up. That sounds interesting. Evil Clutch. Oh, okay. So they've got there's a feature here on Dracula, as played by Frank Langella, known to many of us at a certain age as Skeletor from the live-action Masters of the Universe movie. I think it's also covering things like Bela Lugosi, Max Schreck as Nosferatu. I was going through the Vampire Legend. Cool. Okay. And then we've got a Nightmare on Elm Street 5 sneak peek. Freddy's still cool, but his latest film reduces him to a supporting role. That is not wrong. He's not in Nightmare 5 as much as you would imagine. There are some decent scenes there, like in some of the family meal scene is unpleasant, but he's not in that movie a lot. That is a good point. The Man Who Didn't Kill Nancy Spungen. Moving along, okay. We've got some short fiction. Male culture, Children of the Apocalypse. That could be interesting. Looks like zines and stuff. Awesome. Got a severed head there. And that marvellous Return of the Living Dead 2 white sweatshirt. Why would you want a white sweatshirt? You just get covered in gravy or blood. So that was issue 2 of Toxic Horror. I managed to track down a physical copy of that because that looks quite fun. So we've got Toxic Horror issue 3 here, which is, I think it was bi-monthly, so that means the first issue was from the back end of '89. So this is April 1990, this issue. On the cover we've got Nightbreed, Basket Case 2, Spontaneous Combustion from Toby Hooper, I see is mentioned there, Toxic Tomb comic, and yeah, there's Freddy in the corner. Shocker, Birth of a Psycho, Craven delivers Horace Pinker. I liked Shocker. Shocker was alright. I can see why it didn't kick off, a second Freddy, but it was, for what it was alright. Okay, let's see what sticks out here. Reanimator, Pet Sematary, Fright Night 2. I'd kill for a cup of coffee. I love that line. I love Fright Night 2. So good. The original, not the remake. Okay, we've got someone talking about Herschel Gordon Lewis there with things like Wizard of Gore and 2000 Maniacs there. This is an interesting thing. That what I'm seeing here from Toxic is that there's more evaluation of parts of the genre or things that stick out rather than bigging up new movies, which is more what Gorzone and Fangoria did. And I find it interesting that there's a feature on comics as well, which nicely links into the earlier part of this video. the Inkblot Comic Festival. Oh, there's some manga there. There's Golgo 13. Okay, cool. And then we get on to Wes Craven's shocker. Toxic interviews Wes Craven. You can't go wrong with the Wes Craven interview. There's often some nuggets of joy in there. And driving aficionado Joe Bob Briggs talks about 3 of Toxic's favourite things. Indeed. What have we got here? We've got King Diamond. Okay. So there's some music stuff going on there as well. And then we get onto the feature about Nightbreed. And I know Nightbreed is divisive. I know it's not the greatest adaptation of Cabal that it could have been, of the Clive Barker book Cabal, but I liked it a lot at the time, and I do have a soft spot for it. I know there's a recut version of it, which is awesome, but I like the atmosphere of it, and I thought that they did a good job with the mutants that live in Meridian. I did think they did a pretty good job with Meridian itself. Midian, sorry, not Meridian. That's a different movie. That's a full moon movie. And then we've got some questionable stills. The Art of Clive Barker. You've got some book features. You've got Basket Case 2 and some of the incredible prosthetics and effects work that went on in that mad film. We've got Gore Shriek Library Screaming Terror. I need to use one of those pages from the Gore Shriek stuff as a shopping list. I want to track down stuff like the zombies that ate Pittsburgh and so on that are advertised on these adverts. These adverts are everything to me. This is the same sort of thing as like getting ads for X-ray specs in old comics, that sort of thing. I love that stuff. Absolutely love it. Okay, what else have we got in this issue? Frankenhooker there. Okay, so there's Defection there. There's the stuff about spontaneous combustion. Not the best film you'll see from Toby Hooper, but it was fine. Deliver Us from Evil. Some nice shots in here. Crikey. Comic books, comic stories. Blimey. More ads for magazines. You see, this is what I saw when I was reading like issues of Gorezone and Fangoria. I would see this advert here, the Gore store, more gore than before, and you'd see the ad for Toxic Horror down there. I always wanted that issue, so that's the one that I did physically track down. And then on the back we've got the classic masks. Which of those masks would you get? I think out of those I would have the alien guy, with the big brain one at the top, and the kind of rotting dude. I think I'd have a rotting dude as well. And of course I would have the victim with all his guts hanging out. Why not? Why would you not want these things? These are amazing. So that was a nice little look at Toxic Horror issues 2 and 3. We will take a look at 4 and 5 pretty soon as well, because I just really enjoy seeing what's in these and what was covered and what was put across, because a lot of the things in them that you will see reviewed, I've got one with Nightlife in the vampire movie Nightlife, which has kind of disappeared from everyone's awareness. I like seeing the things that were bigged up, things that were talked about that kind of didn't have the impact that they would expect to have. But that's still very cool. So I enjoyed that. Yes, please do join me next week for another episode of Planet Hex. There'll be a short episode during the week and one of these full-length ones at the weekend. And it will not be quite as disjointed next week. It will have one theme and not two disparate ones. But I wanted to get that Inkblot Festival video out, so I think it's important for people to see that these things go on and that they are fun to go to and they're worth going to, making the effort to go to. Even if they're not perfect, nothing is. They are fun to attend, and it's always good to be around your people, you know. But yes, I'm Andrew Horn. Please do check out my books, check out my podcast, VHS Ate My Brain. Look at the books as well. They've got the same titles. And I've got other books out, but those are the ones that want to read the VHS ones. So check out VHS Ate My Brain and VHS Ate My Brain 2, The Revenge, and the VHS Ate My Brain podcast. It's all been awesome, and I've had a great week. I've had an interesting week. I don't think I'm going to be on TV anytime soon, but that was amazing. If you haven't seen that yet, it is on iPlayer still. Not iPlayer, on ITVX. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Planet Hex.